come in, we maybe have 1, 2, 3 calls once a month, whatever it is. What do I do? Do this, do this, do that. And they come back and they go from 50K to 200K in a month, 600K a month.
Hello guys, Alex Fedotoff here, and today we have an amazing guest, my friend, partner, Richie Palmer. And Richie has been in e-commerce for a long time. Now we work together in some awesome projects, and I'm here today to learn some advanced hacks when it comes to e-commerce, like something that e-commerce businesses, whether you're starting out or you're already doing numbers, you're already doing $50,000, $100,000 per month and you want to grow your business. I'll learn from Richie. Richie has been behind the scenes. He's seen some of the success stories and a lot of businesses that have been through our ESS program. Many success stories, many people that have changed their lives and businesses scaled massively. And I'm here today to learn from you and to share with you guys, what's working right now.
Thank you for having me. Excited.
Thank you for coming. So tell me about your journey in e-commerce. When did you start? How was the journey for you so far?
So initially I got started back right when I got out of high school, really, 2017. Actually, my grandmother started a business in e-commerce in 2001. So I'd always seen her packaging orders, doing things along those lines. And I played sports growing up. I got injured in high school. So everything kind of went down south from there with sports.
So you wanted to do sports and then...
That's what my whole life was sports, traveling, practice, working out every single day my whole life. And then once that kind of went downhill once I got injured. My grandma was the one pushing me in the back. You got to go ahead and do something. Obviously college was, talk. But I from the beginning, since I was little, I was always saying, I want to go ahead and own businesses. my whole dream growing up was I want to be able to pull into McDonald's with my child and be like, yeah, I own that little kid, what's up? And basically everything else as well, right? So this was just like a starting path there. So after high school was kind of not sure what I wanted to do. Everybody in my family kind of got on and down a good track with life, business, things like that without really doing anything with college. So I started off in sales. Started making some money there with in the back of my mind, I was always thinking e-commerce. About probably 6 months after I graduated, I said, okay, cool. Let me start doing some e-commerce. Got a store started. Actually, it's called Richie Watches. I did my first ad I did my first ad when I was, I thought I was gonna start printing money, like a basic white photo of a watch on there. Spent $700, basically everything I had in my bank account, at 18 years old. Got 0 sales, maybe 1. And I was like, this isn't gonna work. So I just started stacking cash. Little by little, things started to move in the right direction. About 2 years after that, things really started to go up and going. Between that time frame, really, I joined multiple masterminds. And in my head, it was always if I learn one thing, if I pay $5,000, if I pay $10,000, if I learn one strategy here in this mastermind, it's going to be worthwhile. So from the time I was probably 19 to maybe 22, basically until I started working with you, probably 3.5 years ago, I was just bouncing around every single mastermind. I'd make good money and then I'd invest everything into mastermind. Make some more money, invest it more, and I just kept going higher and higher in the tickets of mastermind costs, how high level the people are really. And funny enough, all the masterminds I went through, there was typically only 3 people within there, no matter how much I paid, that were doing some really good revenue and some good volume and some high level people. And it's funny because those masterminds actually costed more than what your initial investment was to come into yours. And then I came into yours and it was most of the guys there doing some good revenue, some good numbers, a lot more high level people. So it was cool to see, really.
Interesting. And so you had this mindset from day one, just investing in yourself, investing just to learn?
Definitely, yeah. I always saw I can't really tell the difference between smart people, but I could definitely tell when somebody's dumb or not. You know what I'm saying? So, my whole thought process was that if I were to put in the work, I could definitely figure it out if I see other people out there making money with it. So there was no question in my mind that I'd make it work. It was just about when and what information I got. So my whole outlook on everything even to this day is just to be somebody who sits back and learns everything from everybody, learn from everybody you meet, everybody you speak to, clients as well, masterminds, and just kind of pick up everything, right? Because whether somebody's doing $10,000 a month or $1 million a month, they're doing something that's unique. And if you just kind of put all that together, in my mind, you're going to go ahead and outdo everybody else.
Interesting. And so when did you join ESS first?
Say probably 2021 or 2022. I'm not 100% sure. One of those years. I think I joined in July. I'd actually known, I had a sales JP since high school. And he was like, come by the office. I'm not going to sell you anything. And I came over. We started talking a little shit. And about 30, 45 minutes later, I met you. And after that, at the end of it, I was like, yo, just send me the bill, send me the invoice. And I came in. So yeah, that's how I got started with you and with the company. Wow.
And so, you've had a tremendous journey with e-commerce. You had many stores, different niches. You've had a lot of success. And let's say e-commerce 5 years ago versus e-commerce now, how that whole industry evolved.
Completely different. My first store that did 7 figures, it was one ad. I didn't even know about creative testing. It was just one ad that hit from, video editor from, I think, Bangladesh. I paid $35 for, tested 3 products, and it just blew up. It went from 30K a month to 50 to 70 to 120 to 240 to 380, and it just kept going up from there. And it was one ad. Now it's just from, working, just businesses right now that we're running right now, it's massive scale, creative testing, a lot of moving parts, really good on copywriting. So it's a million more pieces to the puzzle than it really was. And something that a lot of people don't really think about when they come into drop shipping, and I think it's a flawed mindset, is mostly, people come in here to make money, and they're not thinking about, well, how can I provide value to this customer? How can this customer come back? How can, I actually provide a good service, right? So, a good note to actually keep in mind, I'd say, is, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And I think it should be that way with businesses as well, in the sense that if you don't want to, if you're not providing a service and selling to somebody and you feel like it's a good, good aspect, good experience for the customer and everything like that, then there's no reason you should be doing it. Nobody's going to come back in that. And if you're selling some bullshit product really that doesn't work, or selling something that's not even on your website, nobody's ever going to come back. And I think now at this time, with the competition that there is, if you're not maximizing your customers and providing value and creating a relationship with them, I don't think you're going to make it here.
And you have seen, over your journey, since you joined the team, you helped us with ESS. You've seen so many people even having a lot of initial success with their businesses, right? Maybe, generating hundreds of thousands of dollars per month with their businesses, sometimes, millions of dollars. And then because they were not focusing on that business long term, the business would eventually just, go to shit.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't recommend anybody to, spread their time thin, really. I would go ahead and just, if you have something that's working that you could really build off of, just double down on that. Don't go into other markets. A lot of people want to go into other markets of their store, have one store in 10 different markets. And, you can't really build there, in my opinion. I would say just focus on your customer base, what they would like, that general customer persona, what they would buy, right? So if I'm selling, let's say, a fitness device, right? Obviously, you're going to go ahead and say, okay, let's get a fitness program. Let's get some coaches, some real people that know workout programs, all that type of stuff. Sell every single thing that could help that person that would buy that product, essentially, right? So I think it's just about maximizing your niche and maximizing your business in all ways there.
And it's fascinating because a lot of people just getting into the business, or maybe they didn't have the right examples, right, on even what to model. They're just modeling other people that thinking short term. But what you're saying is, let's say you're selling a product that serves a specific need. There's also some products or some other even services or maybe even information products that can serve that specific need. And that's what you have to keep in mind and start developing in order just to have a more value for your customers long term.
Yeah, a big mistake that I made was I didn't really realize that probably up until maybe 2 years ago. Before then, I made a decent amount of money, in revenue, profit, whatever it was, but essentially it was all for nothing in my mind, because I was basically working for free. If you want to do that, you could go do affiliate, you could go do something else, right? But I think you should be spending time, if you're running a business, on building an actual asset that you're able to sell in the future long term. And 3 years from now, you could have something you could sell instead of just running some bullshit products or bullshit offers, something that's just going to make you money at that time period, and you're not going to be able to capitalize off in the future. And the only way to do so, I think, is just providing value and being genuine in everything you do.
This seems like one of the biggest mistakes that people make, just in terms of the mindset that they approach their business. Even, they might do good numbers short term, but they're not thinking about the business long term or how they can expand, how they can further like serve their customers. What other mistakes do you see entrepreneurs are making? Even, with people that are coming into ESS and, they might already be doing like, good numbers, but they might have some wrong beliefs or kind of wrong ways they do their business.
I think not treating it like a real business, just coming into it saying, I'm drop shipping. I think that you need to have your logistical. So there's a million parts to this business, right? So I'm always saying that there's 10 parts, 10 professions just to run one e-commerce store. So I think a lot of people just come in and they're just trying to make a quick buck rather than going ahead and creating some organic presence, social presence, educating the customers on the products you're selling and products in that same niche or whatever need that they're trying to fix. All aspects really, right? So customer experience, like I was saying earlier, there's a million things to this really. We would speak for hours about it really if we were to go deep into it.
We actually practice, what you're saying, right? Like right now we have like 4 or 5 products in development that we are working on like for like one brand. Mm-hmm. That's what it takes. Like in my perspective, like if you want to have like successful business, like long term, you have to expand your product line. You have to think how you can serve like existing customer. You have to think how you can bundle different products together in order to get the higher AAV, to be more profitable in every transaction because of the advertising costs, and they're always going up. And that's just something to keep in mind for people that are getting into business. And I mean, when I was getting into business, I also expected like to be like walking in the park.
Yeah.
It's like that the business will be like easy and you just like run some ads and it's like profitable and it's you just
it's not
laying
the
on the
case.
beach.
Yeah, no, it's not the case. I mean, there's a lot of work that comes into just running the business right now. With us, we're producing 125 creatives, variations every single week. Tons of copy that we're doing. There's a million things. Just logistical errors that we constantly fix. Building processes, maximizing everything with the customers, and just really building a strong relationship with the customer base. That's the biggest thing. Like I keep saying, I mean, that's just the biggest thing over and over again, always, right?
That's crazy. So you have seen like one of the things that I've noticed about, I don't know, your perspective as well. We'd love to know about that. When people getting into the business, I've seen, with all of our successful clients like Marek, Andrew, Lang, and Tan, like there's always partners, right? And people that are successful in business, they have partners that, kind of like complement their skill sets or bring something else to the table. How can people find these partners, right?
Well, you can't do it all yourself, right? That's for sure. I think it's important to just find the best in every single person. Right, so just working with people, you little by little find that they're specifically good at one thing, kind of putting them on that stuff. So every single partner you just mentioned right now, there's one guy who's handling the admin side of the business, handling the team, and there's typically one guy who's kind of a little bit out there that's the marketing guru that just kind of does their own thing and writes copy and does like the creative aspect and runs that sort of thing, right? I think that's 2 completely different types of people and personalities to go ahead and do that. I think it's tough to really find somebody that you trust and to be able to put, that much on somebody, the responsibility to handle the business. I've had a partnership before that, it didn't really work out for both of us in the long run. Sometimes you're going to swing and miss, but other times obviously it's going to work out for the better. It's tough to just do it all by yourself. And by going ahead and finding somebody who has the same values, has the same goals and everything like that, like-minded, that you get along with, that you're friends with as well, is the best case scenario for you to grow the business. Because even on those down days, maybe, a lot of people rely only on Facebook ads. You wake up one day, let's say you're doing 10K per day, and then one day you wake up, you spent $4,000, and you have $4,000 in revenue. It's a day that you're in your underwear on the bed and you're like, damn, I don't want to get up. When you have a partner, you have somebody there that's like, yo, get up, let's go. We're getting after it no matter what. So it's like a good person to have by your side and really push you on those down days. So you're with the team at all times, and you're always pushing forward.
And so with people that come through the program, what have you noticed as the qualities?
Resilience.
Right? Resilience.
For sure, and hardworking. Most of the guys that 3 to 5x, 10x their business, they come in, we maybe have 1, 2, 3 calls once a month, whatever it is. And it's like, what do I do? Do this, do that. And I won't hear from for a week. For a month, I'd say. And they come back and they go from 50K to 200K in a month, 600K a month. And it's just about really hard work and just putting it all into a business. All these guys, they lay low, they work all day. They're students of the game. And those are the guys who really make the difference. People overthink and are listening to a million people at once, typically the ones who keep running into bumps.
And as you said, speed of execution is very important.
That's the biggest thing, speed. I mean, you know, firsthand with me, I'm like speed. I want everything to be as fast as possible. And then once you kind of do it, you just kind of refine it little by little rather than just trying to perfect it in the beginning. I'd rather go super fast, mess up a million times, learn from it, and then the next time around have everything perfect.
Where do you see, like, in terms of the categories, like, and you made some mistakes, I made some mistakes, like in terms of the products, which categories of products have you found to be like pain in the ass?
I mean, gifting is great. People do it. A good friend that's in ESS as well does great with gifting. I don't like it because I can't get deep into marketing angles and emotional. Clothing, you hate it. I hate it. Can't get deep into marketing angles there as well. That's not my specialty, honestly. I personally like to go ahead and stick with more problem-solving stuff. So pets, health, fitness, weight loss, beauty, all those types of things, tactical, stuff like that. That's where I would stay. So you give a reason to purchase more than anything. Sports is not the best either. I mean, in a dream world, I'd run a crazy sports company, but I don't know how to sell products like that, right? I think it takes a lot of VC backing there, a lot of money lost. I think it's just more so finding a customer base that you kind of relate to, dive deep into the customer persona, all their pains and stuff like that, and then start capitalizing off that, building that relationship with that community. When it comes to, we just had a conversation like a few minutes ago about the information products and how that comes together as also an important aspect, not just like in terms of like educating your customer and how to use the product, but also as additional like revenue stream for the business. Mm-hmm. Where do you see, like, let's say info products and those kind of things fall into the whole like ecosystem of e-commerce these days? I think it's super important. I think it's super important to go ahead and create some sort of info product for your product or service that you're selling right now, obviously, you know, in all aspects. Like I was saying earlier, fitness device, fitness courses, fitness professionals. They could go in and work and do some workout plans for you. Anything really, just always adding in that. I mean, we were talking earlier because of what the valuations are and how much you could sell the businesses for compared to if you're just doing basic e-commerce compared to if you're doing some sort of, you know, educational factor with your business essentially, right? I think it's super important. Just as an example, V-Shred right now, like I was saying earlier, they've switched to going ahead and doing, you know, supplements, stuff like that. And now they're doing straight coaching programs, educational stuff, and that's just going to go ahead and boost their valuation to be able to sell for higher multiples than what they were before. For example, with the business that we're running right now, just adding in that info factor is going to be huge. Building that community, making people feel like, and then also it's maybe selling them a little bit more of your products within that info, right? Making them understand why they need those other products that you're offering as well by educating them on everything, because a lot of these people will not really understand everything that comes into the products that you're working with and you're selling them unless you educate them. So if you do it in a cool manner, have some great people on the team that are able to go ahead and do so and educate them the right way, I think that they'll win and you'll win at the same time. When it comes to angles, like to sell your product, people that are experienced watching this, like they probably understand what angle is. What's your best like ways to find angles to sell a particular product? Amazon reviews. Yeah. Amazon reviews is great, obviously. You can find a lot there, a lot of forums, a lot of research. I mean, you know, spend a week, spend 2 weeks, spend 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, order books off of Amazon for everything that's related to your topic or your niche. Learn every single thing about them, understand how they speak to each other. Very conversational. Copywriting, I think, is one of the biggest key factors. You know, speak to them as if they were speaking. If you're selling a beauty product, speak to them like as if girls would speak, how girls would speak to each other on a wine night if they're talking to each other. You know, it's like a stupid thing. If you're selling a fitness product for guys, speak to, and you're a woman, learn how the guys talk, learn how they talk in the gym to each other, and you know how they talk if they're going and having a beer or watching a baseball game or a football game or whatever it is. And you just really need to understand how that customer persona acts and goes about life and what their values are and everything like that, and incorporate it into copywriting, into, you know, the ads, the creatives, and everything like that. When it comes to like advertorials, like where do you see, like, so kind of like observing the space, you obviously know the people that are doing very well with that, with, you know, that direct response marketing, and also people that are not doing as well. The biggest thing to focus on, like when it comes to advertorials, like, and also like what would be the starting point for someone to get into like advertorials and start testing that format? I got started personally with copywriting by reading, I'm sure a lot of people have read it, if they're into that, Made to Stick. Made to Stick? Yeah. You know, that completely changed my outlook and how to speak to customers, really. Providing, like, you know, how to say certain phrases and how to present things. And it also helps, I think, with basic speaking to people. I think that's huge. Doing a lot of research, like I said earlier, is going to be major. right? Looking at other competitors or in the same space as you, how they're writing, really go ahead and just model from the best, right? So something that really changed my success in e-commerce was when I first started, I was looking at drop shipping stores, right? I was like, oh man, look at this drop shipping store, doing 100K a month. And I think the ceiling's only gonna be there if you're looking at those people, right? If you start comparing yourself to those 9-figure brands, 10-figure brands, 8-figure brands, you're eventually gonna get there if you start acting like them and doing the same output. So I think that's like the biggest shift in mindset that I had personally, other than being extremely competitive. Those are the two biggest things, right? that's my definitely probably my obviously family and being close to my family, but definitely probably the biggest why and the little success I've had in e-commerce compared to where I want to be is mostly just the competitiveness, like seeing other people do it and being like, oh hello.
You can do better than that.
Yeah.
Can you teach competitiveness?
I don't think so. I've always been super competitive. Maybe you can. I don't know. I've never had, that's never been something I've been short on. I like to be competitive in every single thing that I do. I don't know, everything, like I'll flip a coin playing competitive, everything is about that. Something you could train yourself maybe to do. It's just knowing that there's something more for you out there and how Mark was saying earlier, just, not going to be average and that you're not going to just settle for something.
Considering like we're in with technology, for example, you go to ad library and you see all of the ads that, your most successful competitors run. You see all of their advertorials. You see all of their ads. You pretty much have access to almost like any information.
Book. Yeah, there's no reason anybody should not succeed if they're committed. Everything, you could find every single thing. You could funnel hack. You could go through the whole sequence that other people are doing that are being successful in the industry. There's nothing that you could hide on the internet, right? So there's no reason for anybody to lose unless they're getting the wrong information or they're just simply not working hard enough.
And so why do you think is that? Like, so even, seeing all the people that have been through the program, and you see some people, we just talked about this like earlier, right? Like you have seen so many businesses like double, triple, 10x, with ESS, right? We've seen it. I interviewed, many of those people, and it's just incredible what is possible, right? Like if a person has the right mindset, if they approach it, and then obviously, working with someone like you, just boom, 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 like the advice that you give is just like next level. Why do you think there's still, there's people that, let's say, 10x in their business, and there's people that, maybe just doubling their business?
I think the drive, waking up and just consistently having that output, I think that's probably the biggest thing, to be honest with you. It's such a broad answer and it sucks. But realistically, there's guys that you get on calls with and they're just like maniacs. They will get it done. They don't care. You tell them what to do. And I could give them the broadest thing, right? Like what to do. Like, I can't just say, you got to do this and teach them copy and do a million things. But I can give them like a broad thing and say, look, you got to do this, or you got to do this strategy. You got to do that. And they just simply go ahead and do it. They don't hold back. The next week they're already flying. It's just about actually getting it done and putting the time and effort into it every day. There's other guys who they start making a little bit of money and their only goal in life is to make 10K a month, which is fine. And then there's other ones who just are just crazy about success and not letting anybody beat them and seeing a competitor doing well and saying, I'm not going to be second, and just getting it done, right? It's all out there. Everything that there is. Everything you need to get to $1 million a month really is in the program. That's for sure. All the info courses that you have in the back end there, different experts on different topics, going ahead and recording courses and putting it in there. Everything's right there in front of their face. It's just whether or not they're going to go ahead and do it and actually put time and effort and money into it.
For sure. So let's touch on the creatives. Like, as you mentioned, we were testing, hundreds of creatives per week. Where do you think is the best place to start with that? Like, do you hire like a person from day one who would like edit your videos, like just edit the videos yourself?
You need a video editor. You could definitely learn, that's fine. But I would say getting a video editor is probably gonna be best so you can focus on all other aspects. And I think you could honestly get to $500K a month, $1 million a month with maybe 1 or 2 VAs for customer service, a video editor. And personally, I think that everybody, if you're getting into this, should start out running their own ads, because if not, nobody's really going to talk about it all the time. Nobody's going to lose sleep over you scaling, if, in my opinion, an agency, no offense agencies, but I want people who are going to lose sleep, that are going to put their all into the company, that have anxiety. I think it's a great trait personally, not anxiety like, oh, I can't walk outside, but anxiety to be perfect in everything. And I always tell you, like, the best hires, Alex, are those girls in school that could not go to school without turning in their homework, right? Those are the people that I want on the team. People that are just perfectionists at all times. So I'd say get some people like that on your team. Work on the marketing side of things, because that's really what's going to grow your business more than anything. Write the scripts, do the copy, learn all that aspects, learn every single part of the business, really, because once you hire people out, you don't want people that you don't know that side of the business, and they could be slacking or not doing it efficiently. So I think it's important to learn every single aspect and grow slowly at the beginning. Go through the mistakes, go through learning curves, of course, and then hire out and build a team.
Do you think people, like, sometimes they outsource too early?
Yeah, a lot. I could honestly say I think 100% of the people, and there's probably about 30 people that have come into the program that go ahead and hire out agencies at the beginning or hire out something else, whatever it is. They typically don't get the results that they want, and then 6 months later they come back into the program. They're like, damn, you were right. It's up, and they move forward from there.
They kind of learn from that, and they decide to get their hands dirty and start learning those moving parts themselves.
Exactly.
What are the qualities like when it comes to hiring? So as you mentioned, like one of the things is kind of like almost like an anxiety. What are other qualities you think entrepreneurs should be paying attention to when hiring their team members?
The ability to learn, humbleness, having an open mind. I think that's the biggest things. Like, the best people I've found in the industry are typically people who aren't set on their ways. The best outlook you could have in this industry is definitely just being always willing to learn. So there's a lot of media buyers out there that are like, this is the one way, this is it, this, that, the other. I think it's important to just be open to a million things. And really, in my mind, marketing is really just throwing stuff at the wall, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? So it's just about finding a million good ideas, writing it down, executing on them. And little by little, you'll start to see that a lot of stuff that you thought was going to work actually doesn't, and the stuff that you didn't think was going to work works. So it's really just going ahead and doing a lot of research, finding all the people who are winning, applying those things, seeing what works from there, and then doubling down on that.
Being data-driven.
Yeah.
Do you see people that maybe they're not able to grow their businesses as fast, or like at all, they're not being data-driven, they're taking emotional decisions?
Yeah, definitely. I think data is everything, right? That's something that we're doing, little by little. It just keeps on getting refined more and more. But I think going ahead and putting the money into tests and having efficient tests, high quality stuff, is going to be the biggest lever. And then also going ahead and making sure you have presence everywhere, expanding. A lot of people, if Facebook were to shut down tomorrow, are gone. We always talk about this as well. Being on every platform, omnipresence everywhere, having great social proof, social authority, brand affinity, and having a great customer service team. I've seen a lot of customers that go ahead and are like, hey, I don't want this product. And you accept the return, and then 6 weeks later they buy and they tell their friends, word of mouth, right? That's one of the biggest marketing channels, obviously, that a lot of people can never measure, but it's definitely does a lot for us and for the big companies out there.
Awesome. So which level of working with all of the people inside of ESS, like what revenue level do you think like we can help people the most, like when they come into the program?
I mean, if you're doing over 30K a month, I'd say to come in, definitely. But we've definitely helped people doing 7 figures a month. We've helped people doing several 100,000. We've definitely helped people doing 20,000. So it really just depends, because there really is always something that you could kind of maximize and get better at. And sometimes you may know in the back of your mind what to do, but it takes another person from consulting phase or whatever it is to come in and be like, hey, dude, you suck at this. We got to work on this, or you got to start putting more focus onto this stuff. Do
you think like companies should have like a budget for like education and just
definitely
leveling up?
Yeah, and bringing things in house. I like things. I'm a big believer in having everything in house. Because everybody's going to go ahead and put their 100% into that. If you go ahead and just outsource everything, people are just going to go ahead and be like, hey, I got my retainer. I made them $1,000. They paid me $1,000. They're ROI profitable. I don't think that's a way to grow.
Just building the team long term, which is, short term it's more painful, right? But it's a lot more beneficial and rewarding long term.
And you save money. So, let's say you get an agency to go out and do something for you. You may pay them 60 grand over the year, and they may make you, let's say 40, 60. If you were to bring that in house, educational, you pay 20. You pay the guy the salary, somebody else, let's say 40, 60,000. So you're in what? $70,000, $80,000, but they're probably going to make you 3, 4, 6x that.
Interesting. So what are the kind of pieces of advice you would give to entrepreneurs like watching this? Maybe they're doing like 50, 100K a month. besides just joining ESS?
Join ESS. No, constantly keep learning, learn everything, be open to a million things, study the highest level people, study the highest level brands, and just pick all the best parts from everybody and put it into one. And there's no way you're not going to win and blow something up.
Awesome. Thank you, Richie. So how people can connect with you?
Through you. Don't call me. No, I'm kidding.
A link.
Yeah, there'll be a link down below the video, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's pleasure. It's pleasure working with you, and blessed to have you as partner. So
of course. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.